Hey, good day, folks. Welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. On this video, I will be driving through the city of Hendersonville, Tennessee. And to be quite honest, other than the city of Lewisburg, I gotta say, looking back at my time in Tennessee, I enjoyed living here in Hendersonville a whole lot. Now, I'm going to give you guys some basic information about this city, and then I'm going to give you my 2 cents. Hendersonville, Tennessee is located 23 minutes northeast of Nashville in Sumner County. It is considered a Nashville suburb. It is the 4th largest city in greater Nashville. Now, the city was named after William Henderson, the first postmaster here. And this city being a Nashville suburb, I mean, later on in the video, you guys will learn how expensive it is to live here in Hendersonville. Now, of course, back when I lived in Hendersonville, the cost of living here was a lot cheaper. I mean, bear in mind, even back then, it wasn't cheap. But it was a lot cheaper then than what it is today. Now there are a whole laundry list of celebrities that either currently live here or used to live here at some point. And I named a few of them, and many of these names you guys are going to be very familiar with. Now, some of the people that lived here in Hendersonville are probably names that you would never think would live here in Hendersonville. But anyhow, here's the list. Now, a lot of the musicians that lived here were country musicians, but there's also some other people that were not in country music that lived here as well. So one of the biggest country musicians that lived here was Johnny Cash. In fact, the main road here in Hendersonville is called Johnny Cash. It's called Johnny Cash Parkway. You take that road north, and it will take you right into Gallatin. That road was named after Johnny Cash. And then, as far as other musicians that lived here, you had Roy Orbison, Orbison. You had Conway Twitty, who died in 1993. You had Gene Shepard, Marty Stewart, Taylor Swift, Young Buck. And yes, I did say Young Buck. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I mean, when I saw Young Buck's name as a list of famous people that lived here in Hendersonville, I'm gonna be real, I was a little shocked. But yeah, at some point, Young Buck used to live here. I mean, he might live here right now, who knows? And Chris Henderson. Those are just a few of many celebrities that either used to live here or currently live here. And if you want to live here, of course, if you're looking to purchase, in a minute here, I'll get to my other notes. But for now, if you're wanting to purchase here, you can purchase a townhome or a condo for a starting price of $200,000. Now, bear in mind, for $200,000, chances are the condo or townhome is going to be small, or B, it's going to be a fixer-upper. And around this area, if you purchase a townhome or a condo, plan to pay at least a couple $100 a month for an association fee. So just bear that in mind, FYI. Now, if you're looking to purchase a house that's turnkey move-in ready, plan to pay at least $275 grand. And now 275 grand is not going to buy you nothing fancy. It's not going to be special. And in most cases, it's not going to have a super big lot. I would say for 275 grand, much of your houses, if you're lucky, will come with a quarter of an acre. And the house itself will be, if you're lucky, 1,000 square feet. Now there are houses that are a little bigger, with lot sizes larger for that price. But in most cases, those houses are going to be a fixer-upper. Now, later on in the video, I'm going to be driving you guys through the neighborhood where I used to live. I used to live in a condominium community called Old Hickory Village, which is located on Donna Drive, or Donna Road, whatever. Donna Road, I think it's called. But the condo community is called Old Hickory Village. And that's where I used to live. Now, obviously, would I be able to afford to come back here and live in those condominium communities? Hell no. I ain't got that kind of money. Now, I'm not sure how much they're going for anymore, but I'm going to assume that if I were to live in those condominium communities, if one was even available for sale, which I didn't see one for sale, but if one were to be for sale, I'm going to assume that one of those units would probably run at least a couple $100,000. Now, the Old Hickory Village unit, which you will see in a minute, or in a couple minutes or whatever, it's you know, the unit is dark brick, and it was a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. The two bedrooms in the bathroom were all upstairs, and downstairs you had the kitchen and the living room. And plus it came with a carport. It came with a covered carport. And you really didn't have much of a yard. Because some condominium communities came with a yard. The condominium community I used to live, it had no yard. And, you know, before I go on with any more statistical information, I'm going to go ahead and keep running my mouth because I feel like it. Now, basically, I lived here in Hendersonville for a couple of years. And the only reason why I left Hendersonville was because I wanted to purchase a house. Like, I was not, you know, although the condominium community I lived in, you know, the people there were real nice. And the condos were nice. And the traffic at that time was to a minimum. Now, when you guys see where I used to live, there's going to be a whole bunch of other developments built in that community. And I'm going to let you guys know right now, none of that was around. Back in the day, all that used to be woods. All that used to be just empty fields and woods. But you know, but when I lived here in Hendersonville, I mean, you know, back in the mid 2000s, at least here in Tennessee, you know, when people talked about Southern hospitality was truly a thing here in Tennessee. Now, there still are places here in Tennessee where, yes, Southern hospitality still does exist. But Southern hospitality here in Tennessee is a real thing. It's not none of that fake crap like it is in other parts of the South. Here in Tennessee, Southern hospitality, when I was here, was a real thing. But yeah, when I lived around here, like, you see, all these houses that you're looking at right now, none of that was around back in 2006. When I moved around here in 06, none of those houses were around. That field you see on the other side, That's all that was there. There were no houses. This road I'm driving down wouldn't even. Yeah, this. Yeah. Well, yeah. This road I'm driving down right now was about the only thing that was here. I mean, honestly, I can't even say with confidence that this road I'm driving down was even paved. Like all these houses you're looking at, none of that was up. All this used to be just fields and woods. But anyways, when I first moved here to Hendersonville, I had 2 people that immediately offered to help me move. Now, I had a few items that were a little bulky, and if I really had to, I could have got them in the condo myself. However, with help, it made things a lot easier and quicker, so obviously I accepted the help. And typically when people help me move stuff in, I like to pay money because I don't like to take advantage of anyone's generosity. However, these people told me, no, keep your money, we don't need it, we're neighbors, welcome to the community. So I had 2 people help me move my stuff in when I moved here to Hendersonville. They did it for free, didn't toss me a dime. They welcomed me into the community. And even when I moved out and I had some bulky stuff to throw away, I had a couple of people help me with that as well. And during the time I stayed here in Hendersonville, people for the most part were relatively friendly and sociable. I mean, the fact that I was black didn't mean shit. The fact that I was working as a custodian at the time, that didn't mean shit either. People here didn't care about that. At least during then they didn't care. I mean, they didn't care about any of that stuff. I mean, people here, when I was living here, they were very sociable, friendly, and I would also add that people here were relatively helpful and approachable, all that good stuff. Like the Southern hospitality that you would expect in the South was definitely here in Hendersonville. Now, I can't really say how it is today, but I know back when I was here from 2006 to 2008, Southern hospitality was a real thing here in mid-Tennessee. It was a real thing here in Hendersonville. So yeah, I mean, and I would say, you know, and like I told you guys, I mean, well, I can't even talk right. Well, anyways, so despite this being a suburb, and despite me telling you guys that I am not a fan of many suburban communities, I will say that if I had the money, I would move here in a heartbeat. This is one of those type of suburban communities that if I had the money to live in Tennessee, period, it would be a toss-up between here and Lewisburg. I'll tell you guys like that. It would be a toss-up between here and Lewisburg. But unfortunately, housing prices here got way too expensive, and my broke ass can't afford that shit. So it is what it is. And now let's get to some basic information here. And I forgot exactly where in this video that I show you guys my old community. When I get to it, I'll let you guys know. But for now, let me give you some basic information about this city. Well, you know what? I'm getting ready to enter in my old community, so let's get that done, and then I'll give you some information. Alright folks, I'm getting ready to turn down Donna. And like all them houses you see were not up there. You see, if you look, see those condominium, you see right there, this is where I used to live. I used to live right here within this community. This is the community I used to live in. I lived here from 2006 to 2008. And I can tell you guys right now, at least from the exterior, not a damn thing has changed. It's the same. The design and everything is the same today as it was back when I was here in 2008. And I'm not saying that in a bad way, I'm just saying. In fact, I'm gonna see what the last one sold for. Let's see. Old Hickory Village condominium. Old Hickory Village condos, Hendersonville, Tennessee. See if I can find some information here. In a minute, I'll show you guys exactly which unit I used to reside in. Now, as I was pulling up into the complex, I drove by the unit I used to be in, but I'm going to show you guys on my way out where I was at. You see where that black SUV is at? The unit right by that SUV, the unit on the corner, is the unit that I used to reside in. That's the unit I used to reside in, is that unit on the corner, right by that black SUV. So yeah, what you guys just saw is where I used to live when I lived here in Hendersonville. Now I cannot seem to find the last condo that sold in this area. I mean, in that complex. I mean, there are some of them that were up for rent, but I can't find any that recently sold. So we're going to go ahead and skip all that because I'm not going to sit here all night and look for it. I'm going to go back to my other page and I'm going to give you guys some basic information, some more basic data about Hendersonville. Okay, the population of Hendersonville is 59,323 people, and the city has grown its population by 12% as of the 2020 census. And the median home price is $367,000. But I would say if you want anything half decent house-wise, you can find something for $275 with a little bit of careful shopping around and a little bit of patience. Or like I told you earlier with the condo deal, I would say if you want something that's turnkey move-in ready, at least $200,000. Now, if you get a bigger condominium unit with the garage and all that, you can get that for around that price too. You'll just have to do a little bit of work to it. And when it comes to the, let's see, when it comes to the crime, I mean, crime in this city is very low. I mean, your violent crime is half of the national average. So your violent crime is extremely low. Your property crime is also well below the national average, as it should be, especially in a suburban community like this one. And let's bring up some more housing stats. See what the rent prices here are like. Okay, if you're looking to live here and just pay rents, the median rent prices are gonna go from $1,070 to $2,000 a month, it looks like. And all these houses you guys are looking at right now, like I told you, none of those houses were around. All that used to be fields and woods. Okay, let's look at some other stats here. Okay, as far as the racial makeup of the city, 84.4% white, 8.4% black, which actually for a suburban city, that's not bad. I mean, back when I used to live here, I believe the black population was half that. But like I said, when I was here, people treated me very well. I felt very welcomed into the community. People were very nice to me. The only reason why I left Hendersonville was because I wanted to purchase I wanted a regular house with my own driveway, my own yard, and more privacy than what a condominium community offered. And I did not have the money to purchase a house here in Hendersonville, because if I would have done so. But you know, that's what got me to leave Hendersonville. Because when I left Hendersonville, that's when I moved down to Lewisburg, because Lewisburg was a lot cheaper, and I was able to purchase a regular house in Lewisburg. As we're here in Hendersonville, I was unable to do that. So that's the only reason why I left Hendersonville, because I wanted to purchase an actual house and I didn't want to live in a condominium community no longer. So anyhow, let me start over. 84.4% white, 8.4% black, 1.7% Asian, and 3.7% Hispanic. So that's the racial makeup of the city. Now more about Hendersonville. Now, given everything that I've said so far about Hendersonville, I mean, for those of you that have already came to the assumption that I'm a fan of Hendersonville, you're damn right I am a fan of Hendersonville. I like this city. Honestly, like back when I did my video of Carmel, Indiana, the median home price of Carmel, if I can remember correctly, was around $400,000. As for the median home price here in Hendersonville is a little lower than Carmel. But honestly, aside from the fact that the median home prices here in Hendersonville are a little cheaper than Carmel, if you gave me a choice of which city, if I had to pick a suburban place to live between Carmel, Indiana and Hendersonville, I mean, hands down, all toes down, I would pick Hendersonville over Carmel any day. Now, granted, Carmel, Indiana does have a few more amenities than Hendersonville, but I don't care about that. If you gave me a choice of where I'd rather live in Hendersonville. Any day, all day, over Carmel. And I'm talking about Carmel, Indiana, of course. So yeah, I mean, it's safe to say that yes, I'm definitely a big fan of this city. I'm just not able to afford to live here at this point. It's too expensive. Don't have the money. But that doesn't mean that I'm not a fan of the city. I'm very much a fan of the city. I love it. I love this city. It may not be the most prestigious suburb out there. It's not even the most prestigious suburb of Tennessee. Like, your more prestigious suburbs of Tennessee, your more prestigious suburbs here in mid Tennessee are gonna be Brentwood, Cool Springs, and Franklin. But you know, but next to those suburbs, I mean, you got Hendersonville. Now, next to Hendersonville, if you keep going south on 65, you'll go into Goodlettsville, which is also I mean, it's not as prestigious as the suburbs south of Nashville, but you know, Goodlettsville, I mean, Goodlettsville really is a lot like Hendersonville, except it's a little more crowded because it's a little closer into Nashville. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to keep repeating myself here. You guys already know how I feel about the city. I like the city, just can't afford to stay here. And I don't really got nothing else to say about this city, other than the fact that housing here is crazy expensive. I don't have anything negative to say about this city. If you're looking to live a suburban life in the northern middle part of Nashville, Hendersonville is definitely a solid choice, provided that you have the money to afford the housing here. I mean, it's got a wonderful school system, and if people are the same today as they were back in the mid-2000s, which I hope they are, then if you move here, you'll have wonderful, friendly neighbors. So if anybody that wants to move here, or you're thinking about moving to mid-Tennessee, come down here and check it out. Holler at your realtor, look at some houses, and I wish you guys good luck on moving here for those of you that are able to live here in Hendersonville. Alright folks, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, consider doing that, because I will be putting out a lot more content. And give my videos a thumbs up to help with the YouTube algorithm. I would heavily appreciate that. And you know, drop comments below. I mean, those are very helpful too. They're helpful for not only the growth of my channel, but they're also helpful for people that might want to move to any of these communities that I record. Because there's information that I may have left out accidentally, or I may not know, that somebody else might bring up. So if you know something, leave it, you know, feel free to leave it in the comment section. Alright folks, until the next time, y'all have a blessed one, and I will see you guys on the next one.